Recent changes in the availability of semaglutide and tirzepatide from compounding pharmacies is sending a lot of people into concern, and that's practitioners and that's also individuals. So I wanted to share 4 key things to think about. The first one is, if you are currently on this medication, it is a hormone replacement, and that means if you are on it, it is suppressing the production of your own hormones. That means that just stopping it will not only have your body not experience the ongoing benefits, but will put you back to where you were, and even for a time period have you functioning less optimally even than before, because your own production is suppressed. So it's really important, if we can avoid us just going off of the medication, but instead actually having a process to wean off of that. It might mean that you take a lower dose, or it might mean that you space the time out between your dose. That's something for you and your practitioner to work on together. The second thing is, whether you're just starting, whether you're on it, whether you're weaning off of it, we always want to be working on what I call GLP-1 optimization. It is where we optimize all the different aspects of our body systems to make sure that the body is supported, both in using the medication optimally, but also with the idea that we're actually encouraging the body's own systems to improve, so that when you do decide to come off of it, if you do decide, that it can work better. So those are things like optimizing digestion, optimizing your vagus nerve, which is part of your nervous system, really looking at overall health and nutrient resources to make sure that those are at optimal levels, and then looking at your activity and your recovery to make sure that those are working in favor for your body. So it's a whole approach. It's not just eat more protein or do more strength training. It's really about looking at all of these things and understanding where your body is today and how we can optimize it. So I highly recommend that. The third one is that there is going to be availability of product from compounding pharmacies. Here's the catch. That may not be the product that you actually want to use. So really talk to your practitioner to make sure that if they change, or say you're not working with a practitioner and you decide to purchase it somewhere else online, maybe you find it less expensive or you just find it available, be careful, because a compounding pharmacy that is wonderful and is following all the regulations and doing everything by the book, awesome. But somebody that decides to make a different version so that they can still offer this, that may not be better for you. I've heard about things like semaglutide with B12. Well, the form of the B12 is really going to matter for your body, and that's going to be very important for you. It might not be a better form, or you may need to adjust your B12 supplementation, as an example. Or maybe there's a version that includes other peptides. Those other peptides could be beneficial for you, and it's all compounded together, or they could be problematic for you. So really buyer beware. If you're going to go somewhere else, I really recommend doing that in collaboration with a practitioner. So rather than just going to a company that doesn't know you at all on that part. I recommend that in general anyway. And then the final one is to really be aware of the marketing messages around what are being called GLP-1 supplements. So look, our bodies produce these hormones, so there are so many different nutrients and ingredients that actually help to optimize GLP-1 function in our bodies. Things that help the lining of our digestive tract work more effectively, things that help our vagus nerve work more effectively, things that help our make sure that our metabolic function works better. The actual hormones are peptides. They're made of amino acids. So getting in the right amino acids is going to make a difference. Making sure your digestion can break those down and absorb them and bind them together. Like all of this. So there are so many ingredients and nutrients that we can use from a supplement standpoint that can encourage GLP-1 production. But that's very different, because the best that those can do is help your system produce its own. Well, your own hormones get degraded by an enzyme within about 5 minutes. The difference with the hormone replacement that you're using, semaglutide or tirzepatide, is that stays on for about 30 days. That's not 30 days. It stays on for about 7 days. So that's a big difference, right? 24 hours, not 5 minutes. So that supplement is not going to do what your medication is doing. Now there's a supplement called Amerisate, Calocurb. I use that with my patients, whether they're on or they're weaning, or I use it for some people who aren't using semaglutide or tirzepatide. And it's a hops, and it actually has been shown to increase your production to about 600%. So it may actually elevate your own natural production. But remember, the enzymes are still degrading very quickly. So these things are not the same. In that instance, the supplement would be keeping it on for about 4 hours, right? So it still isn't 7 days worth. So we need to know these things, and we need to know that just switching over to a supplement, if you decide to stop or have to stop your compounded, is not going to give you the same experience and give your body, it's not replacing the hormone in your body. There is no supplement that does that. So we can absolutely use supplementation to optimize and to support you. As I mentioned, I even use the hops for some of my patients when they're on for 7 days. They find at days like 5, 6, and 7 that they have a lower amount of effect from the medication. So I might use the hops in there. So there are strategies that we can employ. I recommend working with a practitioner that can help you. So I'm hoping that this helps you or somebody that you know, if you want to go ahead and share that video. If you have any other questions, drop them below for me, or go ahead and reach out to me at the Better Nutrition Program. Thanks.